Globally, more than 1 million plastic bottles are sold every single minute. The question is, how much do you know about this plastic bottles? In this video, we will learn about the history, life cycle assessment, environmental impact, and mitigation measures related to plastic bottles. Continue to watch to learn more. The history of plastic bottle. John Rex Winfield, James Tennant Dixon, and their employer, the Calico Printers Association of Manchester, England, patented polyethylene terephthalate PET bottles in 1941. The first plastic bottles able to withstand and pressure of carbonated liquids, they were a much cheaper alternative to glass bottles. The life cycle assessment of plastic bottle. The life cycle of plastic bottles contains 5 processes, which is raw materials, manufacturing, distribution, usage, end of life cycle. The heroes of our story were conceived in this oil refinery. Crude oil is collected from the ground and sea via long pipes and transported to an oil refinery, while natural gas is extracted from rock formations deep beneath fields and waterways. Raw materials are crude oil and natural gas, so they'll go through a procedure that uses energy and water to change their structure next. Beginning with a chemical reaction, hundreds of thousands of tiny molecules known as monomers join together to form a polymer chain. Millions of polymer chains are created at the same time, resulting in a mass known as a resin. Resins exist in a variety of shapes and sizes. Pellets like these are utilized in plastic manufacturing under intense heat and pressure. Producing PET plastic bottles involves a 2-stage process. Stage 1. Stage 2. The color master batches or pigments are uniformly combined. With PET pellets, a plastic injection molding machine's hopper receives the combined material. The dry raw material is heated until it melts into a thick, sticky liquid plastic. They are then injected into a steel mold, which forms them into the PET preform. PET preforms with various neck sizes are manufactured. Preforms are fed into the heating machine via conveyor and heated to an expandable state. The heat intensity can be varied to influence the thickness and shape of the plastic bottle. After being pressed by the stretching rod, the preforms are stretched and prepared for blowing. After being heated and stretched, the preform is blasted with high-pressure air, which causes the shape of the bottle to take shape as it fills the bottle mold. The bottles are removed after the mounds are opened. These individually sealed bottles are transported by truck, rail, or ship from the manufacturer to the retailer or directly to the consumer. It is only at the point and time of consumption that the bottle's seal is broken and the water is exposed to its immediate environment. Typically, liquids including water, soft beverages, cooking oil, medications, and bath items are stored in plastic bottles. Very small bottles and big carboys are among the sizes available. This plastic bottle is incredibly lightweight and portable. There are 3 life cycle ends for plastic bottles. Disposal. Plastic bottles are transferred to landfills when they are not recycled, where they can take up to 1,000 years to degrade. Recycle. PET are gathered and first delivered to sorting facilities. They are sorted and compressed into bales to make shipping easier before they get to the recycling facility. In order to start the recycling process, bales are cut loose and pushed onto a conveyor belt. The procedure then moves on to magnet separation to remove metal, a pre-wash to get rid of the majority of the labels and glue, and bottle sorting. There is a manual sorting process that comes after the optical sorting. It is necessary to ensure that the bottles are not further ground into flakes and non-PET materials enter the grinder. The flakes therefore pass through several sorting devices. Both the materials and the color may be detected by the devices. Everything that is not PET and not a good color will be thrown away. The flakes are now entering the silo. They will be dried, melted, and filtered before being made into PET spaghetti and pellets. Therefore, following these processes, the pellets will travel all the way and into the decontamination facilities. Pellets made from recycled PET that are prepared to be shipped and used to produce new PET bottles. The practice is referred to as closed-loop recycling. Reuse. Food-grade plastic pellets will be delivered to bottlers for the production of new bottles. It might be a 50% recyclable material, constructed of 100% recyclable plastic. The impact of plastic bottle to the environment. Impact of plastic bottles during the raw material extraction process. Oil spills. As crude oil is being extracted from the ocean, oil spills could happen. Crude oil destroys the insulating and waterproofing qualities of feathers and fur, which increases the risk of hypothermia in oil-coated birds and marine mammals. Moreover, pollution with crude oil causes the pH of the soil to rise dramatically, reaching 8.0, and lowers the levels of accessible phosphorus in the soil. Impact of plastic bottles during the manufacturing of plastic bottle. Air pollution. It was discovered that industrial factories that process PET resins contributed to air pollution during the production of plastic bottles. Nickel, ethylbenzene, ethylene oxide, and benzene are among the harmful pollutants produced during the production of PET resin. In comparison to producing glass bottles of the same size, it was discovered that PET bottles produce more than 100 times the amount of hazardous emissions into the air and water. Impact of plastic bottles at the end of life cycle. Microplastic. There are plastic bottles that wind up in the ocean. In the northern Pacific Ocean, there is a massive marine debris known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The majority of the plastic bottles that are floating in the ocean are not biodegradable. It will shatter into tiny bits known as microplastic. Aquatic life will ingest these microplastics. Because of the harmful materials included in these microplastics, aquatic life's health will be impacted. Humans will eventually eat these aquatic animals as a source of protein in their daily diet. People's health is impacted by this at the same time. Roughly 12,000 million tons of plastic waste will accumulate in the natural environment by 2050 if current production and waste management trends do not significantly change. Mitigation measure for the impact of plastic bottle. 1. 3 Revolutions Initiative. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Be more careful by avoiding the use of plastic bottles, by replacing them with the use of reusable drinking bottles. Encourage repeated reuse of plastic bottles for the purpose of storing water or liquids that are not for consumption. Using a do-it-yourself method, used plastic bottles can be recycled to make new goods like plant containers. Wastes will be produced, and it should be effectively managed as a resource by a good integrated waste management system. The environment will contain fewer plastics due to effective solid waste management, which also slows down the formation of microplastics. Bio-based polymers or bioplastics are plastics made from sustainable feedstocks like biomass, for example, biopolyethylene, when subjected to particular plastic-degrading organisms. Conventional plastics may biodegrade, generating valuable biologic products or organic materials that can replace contaminated or degraded polymers. Thank you for watching.